Hey, welcome back to another episode with Mafaro and
Trace.
In this episode, we're going to talk about decision making and critical thinking. Now, I've noticed something over the last couple of weeks. We're in an election year and a lot of things are going on as you've been watching the news. So I noticed a story on CNN the other day where the anchor was interviewing undecided voters. They were interviewing undecided voters, meaning people who don't know who they're gonna vote for in the upcoming election. What surprised me is that there's a lot of information out there that should, in theory, allow for you to be able to make the right decision. And it shocks me to see that these undecided voters are still not able to pick a side. It's very shocking. So what I think is, what seems to be common sense to me is not really common sense to a lot of people. It's not very common, right?
Yes.
Common sense is not very common.
Common sense is not common.
Okay, let me give you an example. One of these people that was being interviewed, who was an undecided voter, was being asked about how they feel about wearing masks and the situation with the pandemic. And they basically just fumbled the answer and gave an answer that was kind of weird to me, because they were still saying that the pandemic is not as bad as they were still saying the pandemic is not as bad.
It's not as bad.
So what's surprising about that is that you see people dying, right? Mm-hmm. You see political leaders being affected by this.
Being affected by it. Mm-hmm.
Shouldn't that be enough information to make a decision?
Yes, it is enough information. But one thing you have to understand about people, people are different. It's like saying, let me put this as an example, and this has to do with me.
Right.
Like many years back, when I went to school, I had some classmates, friends who lost a parent or they're orphans. Maybe you know somebody who's an orphan, somebody lost a parent. I didn't understand the pain or what it is like to lose a parent, or to lose a mother or father. I didn't understand. But when that happened to me, that's when I started looking at it very different and understanding what it is like to not have a parent, like not to have a mother.
Gotcha.
So the same thing maybe with this guy that you're talking about. It hasn't hit any of his family members, maybe. I don't know.
People close to him, right?
People close to him.
Right.
That's why he doesn't
feel like it's that serious.
Yes, it's that serious. So there are some people who are like that.
Very interesting. I never thought about it that way. But that's very interesting. Yeah. But still, there's plenty of information out there that should theoretically be enough for you to just make any decision. Right? Whether right or left, just make a decision.
Yes.
Why are you still in the middle? Because when you look at the candidates, they're very polar opposites.
Right.
Why are you undecided about people who are in complete polar opposites, It's very strange to me. And I feel like the same critical thinking inability to make a decision applies when people are thinking about starting their own home care agency, right or wrong.
True.
Right? You find people that are still accumulating information, and again, I think it all leads up to fear.
Yeah.
Everything is connected.
Yeah. Fear is what sets people back.
Yeah. It's like you find people collecting information, collecting more information. A good example. I am part of a lot of Facebook groups.
Yes.
And I see, I've noticed a trend that there are at least 3 people that are always asking the same questions in these Facebook groups.
In different groups.
Yeah, different groups. Sometimes in the same group.
Okay.
They're asking the same questions.
Wow.
And sometimes, of course, they get different answers.
Yes.
But for the most part, those answers are very similar. The answers that they get are very similar.
Right.
So I'm starting to believe that these three people, they're probably scared. They're probably scared to start a business.
That's what.
Questions will be like, how do I acquire clients? How do I get clients?
Yes.
Over and over. And you start to notice you start to remember their names. Be like, oh, I remember this one.
Yeah.
I remember this one posted a question about how to get clients.
Yes.
Right?
But yeah, sometimes then, have you ever thought it this way, like maybe they just want to hear different like opinion, because they might already have an answer,
Yeah.
but they just want to see if there's a lot of people who are thinking like them. Does that
Right.
make sense?
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yes.
So they're
Because
taking
I
a
know
poll.
Somebody who used to have that kind of behavior,
Yeah.
whereby if they need help with something, like maybe advice or
Yeah.
something, it's like they already know what to do. They have already made up their mind. But they will speak to about 6-7 people to see if 5 or 6 people, majority, are thinking exactly like whatever decisions they've already made, like they're on her side.
Gotcha.
She won't tell you that.
Gotcha.
That, okay, this is what I've decided to do, whatever that is.
Right.
So if it turns out that a lot of people are thinking exactly the same way, or they are making their decision and giving advice according to what they are thinking, then she'll be like, okay, this is what I should do.
Understood. But
Does
to
that
me,
make sense?
it makes total sense.
Yeah.
But to me, it comes off as somebody who's undecided. And if you've ever looked at people who are undecided, they're typically very lost people anyway. Why are you waiting for
Relying on others.
relying on 20 people to confirm
Yes.
information that you've done research on? Majority of the
That's
people,
how there are certain people who live their lives like
they live their lives like that, and it's
Yes.
very unfortunate.
Yeah.
The majority of the people are often wrong.
Yes.
We always say this.
Yes.
Whatever the majority are doing,
Yeah.
you need to question, because it's often
I
wrong.
know it's hard to look at it that way, but it's true. Going to those overcrowded places,
Yes.
like Times Square.
Times Square,
That's
yeah.
a very bad idea, because think about it. It's winter time.
Uh-huh.
It's gonna be thousands of people.
Yes.
So how are you gonna enjoy?
There are no bathrooms.
With no bathrooms, that's what I was gonna say. How are you gonna enjoy your New Year's when you're all crowded in one place?
Yes.
You wanna use that, and chances are, when it's cold, you tend to use the bathroom a lot.
Correct.
So how are you gonna enjoy in that cold?
You can't
Aren't
enjoy it.
Better off having a glass of wine or champagne in your house with your family and just enjoying
Right.
having a house party. It's better, right?
Yes, it's absolutely better.
Yeah.
See, if you've never been to Times Square,
Or live in
or if you've ever lived in New York City, you wouldn't understand what we're talking about, because there are a lot of people who dream. Some people who watch this would dream about going to New York City and
Yes.
being in the crowd
Yes.
and seeing the
I've
ball drop.
avoided- We've lived there for so long, but
We've lived there
never
10
done
years.
Times Square,
We've
because
never
it's
done-
a very bad idea.
Never been there. But here's why.
Yeah. Common sense too.
Critical thinking.
Yeah.
It's critical thinking anyway.
Yes.
Like you just mentioned, there are no bathrooms. There are always going to be crowds.
Yes.
And it's noisy. You're around too many
It's
people.
freezing.
It's dirty and it's
Yes.
freezing.
Yeah.
Common sense
Yes.
would tell you this
And
is
guess
not
what? To make it
fun.
worse is that once the ball drops down and the celebration is over, coming back wherever you're coming from. Now imagine if you're coming all the way from Staten Island
Yes.
or I don't know, Long Island.
Or Bronx.
Yes.
Yes.
Coming, you know how packed those
The subway is going to be packed.
It's going to be packed. It's going to take you maybe 2 or 3 hours
to get
to your
home.
home. Yeah. What's the point?
What's the point?
Yeah, even going out to clubs on that day is such a bad idea, because drinks, the price of drinks goes up.
Goes up.
You're better off buying yourself drinks
In the house.
In their house. Bring them in their house.
Bring them in the house, I
Invite
mean.
Friends or family members, enjoy your New Year's while you watch people in Times Square.
Yeah, while you watch them
you're
freeze.
warm in your own house. You
Yeah.
can play music, dance, and yeah.
But guess what? There's still thousands, actually 1 million people that go to Times Square every year, with the exception of this year, obviously, because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
But every year there are 1 million people that still go
Yes.
to Times Square and experience all this negative things that you just said. So majority are often wrong.
Yeah.
Right? These are sheep. These are people who just follow us.
Yes. So the best time to go to Times Square, like me and him, we go like on a weekday. If we are off, like, we don't have
your
work
day
that
off.
Your day off, that's the best time because it's not that crowded.
Right.
And
more of the story is when the majority are going this way,
yes,
question it and go that way.
Go the other side.
Okay?
Yeah.
But do your own due diligence, your own critical thinking to see, okay, does this situation make sense for me?
Yeah.
When starting a home care agency, think to yourself, am I going to be happy starting this home care agency? Do I have all the information that I need? Don't rely too much on people who are not experts giving you free information.
Yes.
Because that free information is dangerous.
Yes. Or even if you happen to know somebody who's already doing this business.
Already has a business.
Has
right.
a business and they're doing really well. Those are the people that you should actually talk to.
Yeah. Or go work for them for a couple of weeks. How about that?
Yeah, maybe go work for them, volunteer,
Yes.
stuff like that. Yeah.
That way you understand the intricacies on the details of what it takes to start a business. But we also have a course that allows for you to learn how to start and grow your very own non-medical home care agency, where you're hiring non-skilled caregivers to work for you while you're sitting at home, planning their schedules, and they're working for you. So if you want to take a look at the course, click on the link below. You're going to see a link. And take a look at the free preview of the course. Essentially, you learn how to do your own marketing while we also do the online marketing for you. So it's a great program. I think it's the best value for money out there. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. I will see you on the next one.
See you.